Today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Stoic ideas, as well as my personal experience with Stoic philosophy and some of the connections that I've found between Christianity and Stoic teachings. From an early age, my mind was wired in a philosophical fashion. My daily question as a 5-year-old was, why am I me? This question led to much deeper thinking, which in turn led to more questions such as, why am I here? Why am I alive? Because of these deep thoughts, I began to seek meaning in everything, even the simplest everyday occurrences. It was only recently that I was exposed to Stoic teachings, but because of my deep love for philosophy, I was quickly drawn into the vast world of Stoicism. So, what does Stoicism teach? While there are many teachings associated with the Stoic philosophy, I'm only going to be talking about 3 today. The first being memento mori, which means remember death. The Stoics taught that when one takes the time to recognize the fact that their fate is sealed and that they will one day die, they begin to appreciate the fact that they are still alive today. When you realize that death is coming, the life you have becomes more significant to you. The opposite side of, oh no, I'm going to die, is the shocking epiphany of, oh wow, I am alive. The second teaching that I'm going to talk about today is that Stoicism taught that everything in life, whether it's small or large, whether it's good or bad, everything happens for a reason. If everything happens for a reason, then we must learn to control our emotions when things happen to us. Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher emperor of Rome, taught that unity among brethren is so much more important than reacting when something goes wrong in our lives. In his personal journal, now published under the title of Meditations, Marcus writes that to work in opposition to one another is against nature, and anger or rejection is opposition. The last teaching of Stoicism is that life should have purpose. If everything happens for a reason and we're not dead yet, then we must be alive for a reason. While the Stoics didn't know what this reason was, and they didn't fully understand what their purpose was, they knew that they could seek out purpose by living intentionally, as well as seeking to improve themselves each and every day, even in the smallest tasks. So now that we've laid out some groundwork, we can move on to the next section where I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my personal experience with Stoicism. Even previous to my knowledge of what Stoicism was, or even what philosophy was, I was Stoic in many ways. From the age of 5, I began my lifelong question of why am I me, why am I here, and why am I alive? These questions led to a lot of deeper thinking, and I started to live in a more Stoic fashion. I began to teach myself discipline. I began to discipline myself through rising early every morning at 6 a.m. and taking a cold shower right away. I also began to cultivate my skills through seeking to improve myself in everything I did, whether that was working on an art project, writing a journal, or writing an essay for school. A recent achievement of mine is that I drew a portrait of the great emperor himself, Marcus Aurelius. This picture just shows you how far I've come in my lifetime of drawing. Today, I continue to strive and learn more about everything around me, and I'm seeking to learn more about Stoicism. I recently purchased a copy of Marcus Aurelius' journal, Meditations, so that I could learn more about what it means to be Stoic. From this deeper research of Stoicism, I began to recognize that there are many connections between Christianity and Stoic philosophy. Some of these connections include the teaching of remember death is coming in Scripture. Ecclesiastes 7:2 says, "For death is the destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart." James 4:14 says, "Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away." In his book, Noblesse Oblige, Pastor Scott Applegate says, "If we are going to live well, then we must ask ourselves often, if the unthinkable happened in my life today, where would I have regret?" Life is short. Ask yourself today, where would I have regret if I were to die today? When we live well, we seek deeper meaning and purpose. As Christians, we know that we are here all for Christ. Our purpose is to glorify God and to make him known. In conclusion, Stoic philosophy reaches a new depth when applied by Christians because we truly understand just how valuable our lives are. Today, I walked us through a few major Stoic ideas, as well as my personal experience as an aspiring Stoic and the relevance of Stoicism in Christianity today. Thank you.